Hey guys, Z here. It's that time of the year again where we get to vote in our favorite and fulfilling mobile game. That's right, it's time to vote in the Choose Your Legends Shadow Cup event. Wait, what? So I was working on the Choose Your Legends 10 video earlier, which will now come out later, and then they decided to drop this, so surprise! We're getting a second Choose Your Legends event in the Shadow Cup. In this event, the top 4 placing characters will get a Shadows version in Heroes, and everybody except Lyn is votable in this event. Except Shadows as well, they're excluded, but they're at least votable in regular Choose Your Legends, apparently, so that's... yeah. So for clarification, this isn't replacing the regular Choose Your Legends event. This is just another voting event on top of that and A Hero Rises, and it's going to be held right before Choose Your Legends occurs. Apparently CYL is going to be coming out on the 22nd, so you gotta wait for the main event. It might be the case that moving forward, we're going to have 3 voting events going on every single year. I don't know if this is gonna be a one-off. I don't expect it to be. I feel like it would be a really weird thing to just have it one time. Still, it's definitely a surprise, that's for sure. I think they teased this in the original post about Choose Your Legends coming up soon with the 3 cups. I didn't really think of it much, but if you really look at it, it's actually a Shadow Cup, which is this event. So yeah, now we have 3 voting events apparently. But really, I think there's just one main takeaway from this entire thing. We will never ever be free of 3 houses. Okay, let's just rip off the band-aid with this one. Does anyone expect anything other than the 3 houses lords to sweep the entirety of the Shadows Cup? It's Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude, some of the most popular characters in the entire series. Edelgard herself is arguably the most popular character in the entire series. At the very least, there's no way she doesn't win this event immediately. But to be honest, I would be surprised if they didn't take up 3 of the 4 top slots for this voting event. Although, interestingly, it's not split by gender like Choose Your Legends. Rather, it's based on movement type, so more than 2 males or females could win this time. And good news, Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude are all different movement types for this event. Edelgard is an armor, Dimitri is an infantry, and Claude is a cavalry. That just leaves the flyer section, and honestly, I think that could be anyone's game. Even 3 houses' game. At the very least, it might not be a full 3 houses sweep because of that aspect, but I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse about that fact. I don't know. The movement type restriction is both a blessing and a curse in that aspect because you can't vote for the same popular characters and expect them to win outright. Instead, you vote for the other same popular characters and they'll win in their place, hence why it's a curse. No matter what, it's going to be popular stuff, let's be real. Looking at the movement types, I think the only uncontested movement type is Edelgard, honestly. Armors aren't exactly a saturated movement type in the series, and considering it's Edelgard, it's basically a no-brainer. There's really nobody else that could beat her in this aspect. If you could find me another character with her level of popularity while also sharing the same movement type, I'd like to know. Cavalry aren't as bad either, but they definitely have a lot more options at their disposal compared to armors. It's not even close. You could find way more of these across the series, and in times like these, I kind of wish there was an easier method of counting them up. I don't think there's a filter on the site except when you click on individual games, but I don't really want to go through all the games and count them up to see if I'm right or wrong. I'm just going to assume that's the case. Still, it's worth highlighting anyway because this affects a good amount of characters actually. Claude is listed as a cavalry unit in this event, so there's not a whole lot stopping him from taking it all for himself, although that's definitely in part due to the fact that Lyn is not votable in this event, but it makes sense why she isn't votable considering she's already in Heroes. What's also helping is how they decided on the movement types as a whole. Some of the movement types don't make a lot of sense in retrospect. The first one I noticed was Eikthenir, since he's labeled as an infantry unit despite being a cavalry in almost every alt of his. I doubt he would have beaten Claude regardless, but the change to infantry actually hurts him a lot in the grand scheme of things since it's the most bloated movement type in the entire voting event. I'm not really sure why they changed it, but it was weird to see. Besides that, some of the other changes I noticed were also kind of weird. Heimdallr is a flyer despite being a cavalry in the game. Freya is an infantry unit as well, which is also pretty weird. So on and so forth. There's a lot of weird changes here and there. Granted, it's not all like this though. A lot of them do make sense at least. It's not all over the place for the most part. I'm not sure what they're basing it on though, but I guess it makes it interesting at least. That being said, infantry still have it the roughest because there are just so many infantry across the series. In fact, just based on previous Choose Your Legends winners, a majority of them are labeled under infantry. This means there's a possibility that somebody like Ike just never wins an event like this, although considering it is Ike, I don't think it will be the case. That being said, this means it'll basically be impossible for all of them to win, which I actually don't mind. It's not like they're ever going to struggle for content anyway. A lot of these characters already have so much content as is, and this does actually keep it more interesting. Even if we'll still end up with a majority of the same stuff in the end, at least it's somewhat varied, question mark. I don't know. Does it even count as varied if they're just going to win in different orders but all win nonetheless? Maybe for the infantry at least, since there's no way every single infantry in that category is going to win anyway. Honestly, for a voting event like this, I feel like there's a meme pick out there that could make it 10 times better as a result of them winning. Listen, I know y'all like Dimitri, and yes, he is a cool option. I like Dimitri. I think Dimitri is very cool. But have you considered the very funny option out there? Listen, guys, hear me out. Shinon. Shinon is the very antithesis of a Shadows character. In what could be a very ironic twist of fate, we could make him into the thing he absolutely despises. Or, that's what I would say if he didn't have the same movement type as Dimitri and Ike and Lucina and Chrom and Byleth 1 and Byleth 2 and Robin 1 and Robin 2. And I don't know if there could be enough of a drive to make him win or not, but it would genuinely be the funniest outcome of all time. Turning Shinon into a Laguz would be the funniest thing the series has ever done. I am not even joking. Unfortunately, I just don't see how he ends up beating everyone else in his movement type without everyone agreeing to this, but expecting everyone to agree to that when there's 3 houses lords on the line, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, infantry is still an extremely bloated archetype to the point where a lot of characters will just fail to win this event no matter what. Even a lot of the super popular characters too. I only covered a brief amount of them, but the fact that it's votable by movement type means that it's entirely possible that somebody like Byleth and Robin never win this event. Now, I think if this event went on long enough, they could definitely win, but that's getting a bit ahead of myself. The main thing is that if your favorite character is an infantry unit and not named Dimitri or Ike, you might want to pack it up, Chief. I think besides the armors, the flyer options are the least saturated movement type we have. It's probably about the same as cavalry, except in this instance, there's no 3 houses lord to take that slot this time. It could be another 3 houses character, of course, but now it feels like there's an actual chance for other characters to win, and I'm lying because Camilla is votable. Did you think it would be that easy? Camilla is a very easy shoe-in for the flyer slot, honestly. It's Camilla, also extremely popular, probably was the most popular character in the series before Edelgard actually. Although it would be really funny if Tsubasa won the flyer slot in the end as well. The timeline where she wins both the Shadow Cup and the Choose Your Legends event would be insane, but I don't expect it to happen. Still, I would be surprised if any of the top 4 slots aren't taken up by a previous Choose Your Legends unit. It's not exactly 1 for 1, but a lot of the characters that won Choose Your Legends are already super popular. It's not surprising though, since let's be honest with ourselves, they're popular for a reason. There's significantly more people willing to vote for them than pretty much anything else, which is just how it is. Unfortunate, but that's just the name of the game. Normally, this would make you wonder why they're even having an event like this in the first place if they're only going to be taken up by the same stuff again. But that's exactly why I think they're doing it. It's an interesting choice to create another Choose Your Legends event, but it makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. A majority of the popular options for Choose Your Legends are no longer eligible for voting at this point. Most of the options they do have now just aren't nearly on the same level of likability as a majority of the characters that had already won in the past. Of course, barring some characters here and there, but a majority of them are some of the most liked characters in the entire series still. Making another event where they can milk the same characters again for years means they'll never run out of alts to sell to people. In fact, it really would not surprise me if this was the reason they decided to do this in the first place. Honestly, if I were in their shoes and I could make even more money like that, I totally would too. Most people would probably do the same as well. From what I remember, the Uma Lin banner in Fae made a lot of money, although granted that was also paired with Emblem Corrin, so it's probably a bit inflated. Still, I 100% believe reselling them as Shadows characters will make them a lot of money in Fae. and this is how this company will never go out of business. Now I'm just confused on what their future plans are because this is following the removal of new Tempest trial units. It's a weird string of announcements to be had in such a little amount of time, that's for certain. Maybe the goal is to find more ways to sell the same characters people like while cutting down on as much as possible so that they could keep both games around for as long as possible. I know some people said that they made Lin and Shadow stuff as a whole just to sell more alts and Fae, and maybe it's not that far-fetched at this point, but I would imagine they're going to recycle the winners into Shadows themselves. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but I guess if they could do it, then why not, right? Or maybe they saw the success of Uma Musume and they thought they could capitalize on that themselves. Either seems believable to me. Well, if nothing else, this will be way less toxic than Choose Your Legends 10, so that's nice, I guess. But yeah, I really have no expectations for the winners because it feels incredibly predictable. It's not a bad thing per se, but I think it definitely takes some of the excitement out of the event, even with the movement type change. That said, if Shannon could actually win, then I think it would be a peak event. Could it happen? No, a man can dream though. Anyway, which character not named Dimitri or Edelgard are you voting for? And if it is one of those two, then who else would you vote for besides them? Let me know down below. And until next time, expect another voting event video in the near future.
Be gone!